World Cup final appearance, competing here with Karetis O'Hearn and Jana Leib. His best finish at the World Cup final is 6th place in 2023. So far this season, he had a 7th place finish at the CBI in Ermelo. And Karetis O'Hearn at 17-year-old gelding. The men will execute the same exercises as we saw in the female competition, and we're looking for the same quality of those exercises.
Yeah. That's the way every day goes. Every time we've no control. If the sky is pink and white, if the ground is black and yellow, it's the same way you showed me.
And choosing to mount directly into the lower arm stand. Which tends to allow the vaulter a little bit of extra time within the programme, and it's still a difficult sequence for that sequence 1, so scores highly. Really solid in the backward stand. Just slightly untidy as he came onto his shoulder in the ground jump to shoulder stand. Lost a little harmony there with the artistic piece using his legs. So just small performance faults. Flexibility a little bit lacking in the backward stand split. That'll pull that one down. Again, lost just a bit of harmony with the horse. Struggling potentially with the circle here. A fairly good cartwheel exercise. Tidy dismount to finish for Daniel James from the USA. So fairly well exercised, fairly well executed exercises. Adding in some nice musical interpretation. Just showing us the occasional hesitation. Jana having to work a little bit from the inside to move Karetis O'Hearn out on the circle. That will affect a little bit the lunging score, a little bit of the A2 score, the vaultability. We saw the lunge line coming in. And perhaps the relaxation part of the horse score will be down slightly there for Karetis O'Hearn. And in this male competition, it is Quentin Jabet who is the defending champion. He will be second last to compete. He will be followed by Yannick Hyland, who was the champion in 2023 and 2024. It's quite a final that we have lined up here in Opglebik. We'll have to wait for his score to come in, it would appear, and move on to Jace Brooks, also from the USA. And this is his first appearance at an FEI Vaulting World Cup final. 25 years old. And his first time competing with Jonathan Schumacher and Oslo van de Bishop. Oslo, a 12-year-old Belgian warm blood. Jace took the 6th place at the CBI 3-star in Saumur earlier this year. And of course, a massive competition for all of these competitors, but having a real impact as well, looking forward to the World Championships in Aachen. A good solid round and a good finish here will set them in good stead for that competition in August. And another athlete choosing to mount directly into that lower arm stand. Great sequence there. Nice timing with the horse. A little bit of foot movement might have been after the third stride, in which case it's only a performance fault, not executed for the exercise. And neatly onto his shoulder. And you're seeing some of the horse's movement coming through Jace's body in these exercises. Pausing for timing. And that cartwheel, I would say fairly good, a little bit off axis again, not directly over the spine of the horse. And then losing a little bit of balance before his backward stand split. Again, not showing quite the same level of suppleness as we need to get these high level scores. Jace Brooks with a tidy finish, cartwheel dismount with Jonathan Schumacher and Oslo van de Bishop. And the score for Daniel James of the USA was a 7.102. Good highlights there from the program of Jace Brooks. Had some interesting sequences, so keeping a fairly good level of the artistic score. I think the horse score for Oslo will be that little bit lower again, like just dropping in the quality of the canter, I would say, not quite as large of a circle as well as we have seen in the female competition. And the next competitor coming into the ring very shortly is going to be for France. Ruben Deloney, another athlete making their debut appearance at a World Cup final. 25 years old, he was the European Young Vaulter champion in 2022. Competing with Orlof de Conde and Yannick Kerselek. He finished second at the CVI 3-star in Saumur. And a previous medal winner with the French squad, also from 2024, competing with that squad and Orlof.
Stay focused on me. Run to the horse. 5 exercise. Come together to create one and single dance.
Very interesting.
Exercise
Orlof,
one
however,
on
just
the elbow.
reacting a little. Very good lower arm stand. He's going to have to work hard
Turn back
here
to exercise 2.
to keep his balance.
Turn back again.
Again, we just saw a little bit too much of a foot movement, dropping the score there.
Exercise 3 going to exercise 4.
Heavy then
to
out
size
of the
4.
swan dive.
Motion element. Exercise 4.
It was a
Pushing
fairly
the
good
floor.
cartwheel, but
Enjoying
not
the
as
last
clean as we need it to be. That was much better, much more in harmony with the horse. Just struggling a little with the atmosphere in the arena here at Centaur Park.
Stop. Stretch your legs and join exercise 5. Now,
A little bit better in
get
the
out.
suppleness, still showing somewhat too much of the horse's movement through the technical exercise. Ruben Deloney of France, he's a really interesting artistic concept that we didn't quite get to see developed throughout the programme. And Yannick Kerselek had to do quite a lot of work there from the centre of the circle with Orlof de Conde. Ruben would be hoping for a better start here than that, unfortunately. The level of the execution of the technical elements won't see him high enough to take the top spot today, I wouldn't thought. So the score for Jace Brooks from the USA was a 7.341, taking the lead from his teammate Daniel James. Daniel in second on 7.102. The horse score will be down for Ruben as well, affecting the quality of the canter, the vaultability for sure as well. So 7.9, still a very good horse score. The exercise is a little bit of a difference between the two judges there, however. But the artistic was lower than he would have hoped for, bringing that score for Ruben Deloney down. Next to compete for Germany, Thomas Brusewitz with Max and Sarah Kraus. Thomas, 32 years old. This is his 7th World Cup final appearance. His best finish has been second, with the potential to go even better this weekend. However, it was a little bit of a last-minute change to compete with Max here. However, they have been competing together previously. Thomas winning the silver medal at the European Championships in 2025. And so far this year has a 5th place finish at the FEI in Lier. Ruben Deloney has the score to beat. That is the 7.555. Now we do have 5 athletes yet to see. Max maybe just needing a little bit to settle into this magnificent arena here. Really worked well to get into that position at the start. Lower arm stand angled just a little bit towards the croup. Brilliant cartwheel, second leg just tapping a little bit. Some loss of balance in the in-betweens. Oh my goodness. Not having the best round from Max, unfortunately. Thomas doing what he could there to stay on, couldn't quite hold it. He did land on his feet, but that is still a 3-point deduction from the performance score. And a backward stand will receive a 0. Very good in the ground jump to shoulder stand. Fairly good flexibility. We did see some movement of the top leg through the stand split, and then following a neat dismount, well landed. A real unfortunate round for Thomas Bruzewicz, Max and Sarah Kraus. So difficult if for some reason the horse isn't completely settled, and Thomas tried really hard at the beginning, worked very well with Max. However, unfortunately, it's unlikely that's going to take him anywhere near touching distance of the podium here at the FEI Vaulting World Cup final. You never know. Today is 40%, tomorrow is 60%, and we have 4 still to go. But it would be a big ask. We should have his score coming fairly shortly. That deduction might take a little more time. 6.073. So very far off the quality we know that Thomas Bruzewicz has, and a really disappointing round. Fortunately, we get to see him tomorrow, and hopefully we can just enjoy his free test. Our next competitor, the only Swiss male in this competition, Sven Ries. He is competing with Ewan and Stefan Lotzman. This is his first time as well here at a FEI Vaulting World Cup final. 25 years old. First time too for him competing with this combination internationally. So far this season, he has had a 4th place at the CVI 3-star in Lier. Once again, showing the mount directly into the lower arm stand. And it was a very well executed lower arm stand to start this technical program, working really well with the horse. Solid base in the backward stand split, just a little bit less than we need in terms of flexibility. Small deduction coming through the roll there very neatly into the ground jump to shoulder stand. That was a good sequence as well, building some of the artistic score, using a little bit of balance again. Some minor performance faults. Cartwheel a little sticky at the top, just drop it down slightly away from that 10 that he'd be looking for. Great balance, small shift of the inside foot, but lovely dismount. A very smooth performance overall from Sven Ries for Switzerland with Johan and Stefan Lotzman. He should definitely be pleased with that round, particularly for a first time here at the final, and also with this combination. He really did work well on top of the horse. You see the horse score previously for Thomas Bruzewicz, for Max 5.5, as he wasn't settled within the ring. Orloff de Conde, however, for Ruben Deloney, has the top score of a horse so far. 7.961 the score to beat there for the horse. It's a 7.888 final score for Sven Rees. That's a very good start. He should definitely be pleased. Stands him in good stead and takes him straight to the top with 3 athletes yet to go. And another one competing for the first time at the World Cup final. Representing the Netherlands, it is Rick Bierling with Escape and Maureen Heckert. Rick, 26 years old. He's had a 9th place finish so far this season at the CDI 3-star in Ermelo. Escape, a 17-year-old gelding. So far, the top artistic score is for Sven Rees of Switzerland. He received a 7.920 from the artistic judge. Total score to beat is a 7.888. Powerful, smooth mount. You can just see him struggling slightly in the arm stand. We'll bring that score down. Cartwheel is lovely at the top. We could have had a little bit more elevation and straightness from his arms and his upper body throughout the cartwheel. Good base position in the backward stand split. Suppleness coming just back down a little bit towards that satisfactory range in terms of the judges' score. Really smooth program, working very nicely on top of the horse. Ground jump to shoulder stand looked good. Minor tension just within his legs, but a very good backward stand. That was a really nice technical program for the Netherlands, for Rick Bierling, Escape and Maureen Heckert. Once again, we might see the horse score just a little bit lower than some of the others, so not taking that top spot. However, the 75% coming from the vaulter was of good quality. Nice harmony with the horse and not losing much in terms of performance. The quality, however, of the technical exercises will bring the exercise scores down, the technique scores down from B and D. And it is a total score 7.358 for Rick Bierling. He should be incredibly pleased with that. Say that is a good score for him so far. And that takes him into the 3rd place in the competition so far. Sven Rees has the lead, and we have 2 to go. Defending champion now, Canton Jabé, with first Fridolin HDC and Cyrine Abusait. Once again, a little bit of a change of plan for this combination coming into the event. Canton, the current European champion, the defending World Cup champion. This is his first time performing individually. with first Fridolin. However, he has competed together as part of the French squad who compete with Serene and Fürst this season. So we're looking for near excellent exercises, a more fully engaged artistic concept to really push these scores up. Quite a lot of energy coming through from first. Again, directly into that lower arm stand. So a solid first sequence and an excellent lower arm stand. Mild hesitation in flow, but beautifully then through the swan dive into the cartwheel. Very good. Maybe could have been more up through shoulders. Bottom foot just moving a little bit. Generally good backward stand split. Having decent flexibility, very neat. Excellent ground jump to shoulder stand. Incredibly complex sequence there, really building up that artistic score. Into the backward stand, solid, perhaps just a little bit of foot playing, bringing it just down from excellent in the backward stand. But that's a brilliant start for Quentin Jabet. And the audience here very much enjoying that performance, really bringing up some of the sequence scores, especially towards the latter end of the program. Artistically, very high quality. And great harmony with the horse, sometimes just losing the continuity and flow on the artistic piece. Superb dismount with an excellent landing. We're looking for a big score here. Horse score 2. Some real nice impulsion and movement on the circle from first Fridolin. So an 8.259 for Quentin Jabet, which does leave some room for Yannick Hyland, our final competitor, to go ahead with an excellent program. It will have to be very, very good. Yannick competing with Ray Rubino and Lars Hansen. This double World Cup champion 2023 and 2024. His 8th World Cup final appearance. 34 years old. And Ray Rubino, a 9-year-old gelding. They competed together last season as well. So the exercises have to be strong. We're looking for very good to excellent. And an incredibly soft, smooth performance in harmony with the horse and really engaging with the music. If we're going to see him surpass Quentin Jabet, who sits at the top of the table in the men's competition thus far with an 8.259. Once again, showing us directly into the lower arm stand. Again, they will all get good scores for that first sequence. The lower arm stand itself, very good. Soft and smooth, not super difficult transition into the backward stand. Maybe a little play on the feet as well. Keeping the performance level high in the consideration of the horse. Perhaps just coming low into the arms for the landing of his cartwheel. Could have stayed slightly more stretched to get the top points. Solid backwards needle, it was good. Building some sequence there. A very good ground up to shoulder stand feet. Perhaps maybe came apart a little soon. Nice dismount. Very good finish for Germany's Yannick Hyland. It was lovely and flowy. The quality of the exercises, I feel, probably were on par with Quentin Jabet. The level of the sequences, the artistic, maybe not quite so high. And Lars Hansen having to work a little bit. We saw Ray Rubino just losing some contact through the lunge line as well. The score to beat from Quentin Jabet, 8.259. Yannick Hyland. Hoping to go ahead. I think it might be quite close. And we're just waiting for the final scores to be put into the computer to find out who will be the overnight leader. Will it be Quentin Jabet, defending champion, or Yannick Hyland, previous champion? There's no doubt it is one of them. We'll put Sven Ries of Switzerland into the third place. If indeed Yannick goes where we expect. And he is ahead of Quentin Jabet, 8.377. I think the flow and the harmony with the horse probably just did that for Yannick Hyland. So Yannick Hyland for Germany take the lead in the men's competition here at the FEI Vaulting World Cup final at Centaur Park. Do not go anywhere. We are moving directly